The ice moon of Vexthor had never seen anything quite like humans. Ambassador Orla Chen stepped off the transport shuttle, her boots crunching against the crystalline surface of the frozen world. Behind her, xenobiologist James Rivera adjusted his thermal gear, breath misting in the sub-zero atmosphere. They were the first human delegation to meet the Kahrex, apex predators whose empire spanned 12 star systems. "Remember," Orla muttered through her comm, "show no weakness. The Kahrex respect strength above all." The welcoming party waited ahead. 4 towering Kahrex warriors, their obsidian exoskeletons gleaming, razor-sharp talons clicking against the ice. Between them stood Chieftain Vorshan, 9 feet of coiled muscle and predatory grace. At his side, barely reaching his mid-torso, was his offspring, Krisha, a juvenile whose amber eyes watched the humans with unsettling intensity. Orla strode forward with practiced confidence. She'd rehearsed this moment 1,000 times. The first human-Kahrex alliance could reshape galactic politics. Everything depended on... Her foot hit a patch of black ice. Time seemed to slow. Orla's arms windmilled wildly, her carefully maintained diplomatic composure shattering as her legs shot out from under her. She landed hard on her back with an undignified woof and immediately began sliding down the gentle slope, unable to stop herself on the frictionless surface. James lunged to help but hit the same ice patch. He went down face first, sliding after her in an ungainly tangle of limbs. The Kahrex warriors tensed, talons extending. This was it. The humans had shown weakness before the galaxy's most dangerous predators. Chieftain Vorsha's eyes narrowed, his head crest rising in what could only be aggressive posturing. But then something unexpected happened. Little Krisha's eyes widened with fascination. The young predator watched the human slide helplessly down the slope, and something sparked in that alien mind. Before Vorsha could stop him, Krisha deliberately jumped onto the ice patch. The cub's legs splayed out, and he tumbled forward, not with the grace of his species, but in a chaotic, uncontrolled slide. He let out a high-pitched trill that the translators couldn't quite process. Orla and James finally slid to a stop at the bottom of the slope, bruised and mortified. They looked up to see Krisha sliding past them, all 4 limbs spread wide, that strange trill growing louder. The cub reached the bottom, scrambled to his feet, and immediately bounded back up the slope. "What is the offspring doing?" James whispered. They watched in bewilderment as Krisha reached the top and, without hesitation, threw himself onto the ice again. This time he tucked his limbs in slightly, spinning as he slid. The trill became unmistakable: laughter. The Kahrex warriors stood frozen in confusion. Chieftain Vorsha's crest flattened, his posture shifting from aggressive to utterly baffled. Krisha slid down a 3rd time, this time on his back, claws pointed skyward. When he reached the bottom, he looked at Orla with those intelligent amber eyes and made a gesture, clearly an invitation. Is he asking me to do it again?" Orla asked, stunned. James started laughing. The absurdity of it all, the diplomatic disaster turned into playtime with an alien predator cub, was too much. "I think he is." Orla looked up at Chieftain Vorsha, expecting fury. Instead, she saw something unprecedented: curiosity. "Ambassador Chen," the chieftain's voice rumbled through the translator, "what is this behavior? My offspring has never acted this way." Orla pulled herself to her feet, brushing ice from her suit. A wild idea formed. "Chieftain, on Earth we call it play. Humans discovered that activities without immediate survival purpose, like sliding on ice, bring joy. Especially to our young. Joy," Vorsha repeated the word as if tasting it. "A concept without tactical application." "Actually," James interjected, climbing to his feet, "studies show play develops problem-solving skills, creativity, and social bonds. It's not tactically useless, it's strategically essential. Human children who play grow into more adaptable adults." Krisha tugged at Orla's sleeve, chirping insistently. She looked at the cub, then at the slope, then at the most powerful predator chieftain in this sector of space. And Ambassador Orla Chen made a decision that would change interstellar relations forever. She walked back up the slope, positioned herself carefully on the ice, and deliberately fell backward. This time she steered. Shifting her weight, she controlled her slide, even managing a slight spin. When she stopped, Krisha's triumphant trill echoed across the frozen landscape. James joined in. Then, incredibly, one of the Kahrex warriors approached the ice patch. The massive predator hesitantly stepped onto it, legs splaying as he began to slide. His mandibles clicked rapidly, the Kahrex equivalent of nervous laughter. Within minutes, the diplomatic reception had transformed into something the galaxy had never witnessed. Humans and apex predators playing together on an ice moon. Chieftain Vorshaw watched his warriors abandon their posts to slide down the slope with the humans and his offspring. His crest rippled with conflicting emotions. Then slowly, he approached Orla. Ambassador Chen, we Kahrex conquered 12 systems through strength and strategy. We learned to hunt, to fight, to survive. He paused, watching Krisha slide down with James, both of them trilling and laughing in a universal language. But humans, you learned something we forgot or perhaps never knew. You learned to find joy in falling. Orla smiled, watching the young predator and the human scientist race back up for another slide. Chieftain, that's what makes humans dangerous. We fall, we fail. We slip on ice and look ridiculous. But we get back up. We laugh about it, and we find a way to turn every disaster into something worth experiencing. Vorshaw's crest rose high, a gesture of deep respect. Then perhaps the Kahrex have much to learn from humanity. As the twin suns set over Vexthor, the alliance was sealed not with weapons or treaties, but with laughter and ice slides, a testament to humanity's strangest and most powerful weapon, the ability to find joy even when falling.